Hello guys, welcome back to another video from our series Capablanca vs Alekhine World Chess Championship 1927. So game number 16 was a draw and this is game number 17. So without further ado, let's get started. So Capablanca is with the white pieces and Alekhine is with the black pieces. So Capablanca opens with d4, d5, c4 and e6. We go straight into Queen's Gambit decline line. Knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5, knight b2 d7, c1, c1 not c1, e3, yeah, e3, oh no shit, just e3, yeah, e3, bishop e7, knight f6, f3, and kingside castles by Alekhine. Rook to c1, so almost similar line. Yeah, I think we are same up till now from the previous game. And a6, a3 and b6, c cross d5 and e cross d5, bishop d3 and bishop b7. Now Capablanca castles and c5, trying to open the center. So d cross c5 and b cross c5. Now queen e2, putting pressure on the a6 pawn. Rook e8 and bishop c2. So maybe bringing queen over here and threatening checkmate if Alekhine allows, but queen b6, queen rook f to d1 and rook a to d8, knight a4 and queen b5, trying to exchange the queen, and Alekhine Capablanca accepts. Queen cross b5, a cross b5 and knight back to c3. Knight can't take over here because this is protected by bishop and also by the knight also. C6, bishop d3 and c4. So bishop f5 and b4. Pretty impressive that this all here is every king is completely safe. So pushing e5 and b5 and this work. If king is not safe, if any attack is coming, then you can't push this pawn and try to attack like this. So a cross b5, bishop cross b5, b4 and knight d4. So bishop was attacked, bishop back to b7 and bishop cross d7, rook cross d7 and bishop cross f6 and g cross f6, opening up the king, but there are no upcoming threats and there is no queen also. And now Alekhine is with two bishops against two knights, so let's see what happens. Generally this is a better position for black. Knight d2 and knight d6, bishop d6 and rook c2, bishop e5 and rook c2 d2, rook c7 and rook a1, king g7, so that improving, so that rook if comes here with support, then there is no pin or something like that. improving position of the king. And g3, rook c5, and rook a7. So rook b8, trying to defend the pawn and defend the bishop, and knight d4. g6 and f4. So bishop back to c7 and king f2, rook a5, and now Capablanca exchanges one pair of rook and bishop cross a5. g4 and h5. So g cross h5 check and king h5, king f3, and rook g8. Now rook g2, and Alekhine also exchanges one another pair of rooks, rook cross g2 and king cross g2. As Alekhine is with two bishops against two knights, and there are equal pawns only. Uh, so king g4 and h3, king h4, and knight f5 check, king h5 and g3, bishop b4, and knight back to d5, d4, king g6 and king g4, f5 check, and king has to go back, king g3, king f6, making king safe, so there are no checks, or there are no checks from the knight, and knight f3, bishop c5, trying to attack this weak pawn, for king, and king f2, bishop back to b4, and knight g5, bishop d6, and knight back to f3, bishop back to b4 and h4, king g6, and knight e2. So bishop c8, trying to keep the protection for this pawn so that king can move away from this pawn. So knight g3 and bishop to e6. Yeah. uh, h5 check, and king h6. So if bishop wasn't here, then Capablanca would have won a pawn. King to e2, and bishop e7, king d2 and d8, d4, knight d4, and bishop c8, king c2, and bishop a5. Cutting the king from entering this diagonal. Yeah. Bishop b4 and king e2, bishop d7, and yes, in this position both the players agreed to a draw, because if you this is completely drawn game. uh, If you capture this, then just bishop captures, knight captures, and you win back the pawn. So there is no good move for white, and in this position both the players agreed to a draw. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Subscribe and share this video. Thank you.